Okay, so welcome everyone to the second career day of ISU. And today we have the very pleasant company of Suvi and Rohan, who are from the North Savo Ely Center. Very much thank you and welcome, Suvi and Rohan. We are very pleased to have you here. And go ahead, you have the floor.
Thank you. So, ladies first, and I will start with my presentation about LinkedIn. And first of all, thanks Isu for the invitation. So, I will tell just quickly about LinkedIn, what it is, and how I have used LinkedIn. But first, who is Suvi Pesonen? Something about me. Um, I work as a communication manager at the North Savo Ely Center. I'm a Master of Arts. I did my degree in international business communication and German language and culture. So my studies were a combination of communication, marketing, and languages. I did an exchange. I was an exchange student twice, and then I did 3 internships abroad as well. So half of the studies I was abroad, and half of studies at the Oulu University. I'm also mother of two incredible active boys. I'm also an active member of organization called Mothers in Business because I believe mothers are superwomen and I'm one of them. Besides, I'm also a twerk dancer. I love to do aerial sling acrobat tricks. I do also pole dancing. And thanks to COVID-19, I found my book lover in me. So I love to read books as well. And you might ask, by the way, how old am I? I'm 35 years old now. And a little bit about my history with LinkedIn. I joined LinkedIn 2011. I knew that I was going to graduate next year. So I was kind of curious to know what is LinkedIn all about. But to be honest, I didn't know exactly what kind of value does it bring to me. And I was lazy. I didn't want to write in English because I thought that I have to post everything in English. And that was a bit barrier for me to start to post something. So I was in LinkedIn, not a really active user. I went there once in a while, not daily, not even weekly. And as you can see, I did my first post 2015. So it took some time for me to actually realize what LinkedIn is all about. And I would say that I'm an active LinkedIn user since 2018. That's when I started to post more often. I started to join the conversations as well. And that's when I realized what's the value of LinkedIn for me. And I also started to write everything in Finnish, also my profile. I have some things in English, and I do know that English is such an important language, and I want to brush up my English skills as well. So perhaps at some point, I will start to post in English as well. Well, if you ask me what is the biggest achievement when it comes to LinkedIn, I would say that this year, because finally my husband also joined LinkedIn, I did some brainwash quite some time to be honest, but now he finally joined LinkedIn as well. Well, if I'm really honest, I think the biggest achievement so far when it comes to LinkedIn is the fact that I've got new friends, bigger network as well. And I do think that it's part of the LinkedIn, thanks to LinkedIn, that I work now at the North Savo Ely Center as well. I don't know, there might be some viewers who haven't had the time to really look into LinkedIn. So this is just quick sum up what LinkedIn is all about. Well, first of all, LinkedIn is the world's biggest professional networking site with almost 800 million members. There are roughly about 1.2 million Finns in LinkedIn. So it's quite a big number. And if there are so many Finns, it must be also a useful platform here in Finland as well. You can use LinkedIn to build connections and to stay in touch with your school networks and colleagues, past and present. You can also use the site to research companies, interviewers, recruiters, and hiring managers, and just to learn new things. LinkedIn is free. There is a paid option, a premium LinkedIn that offers additional benefits, but the basic free version is enough. Of course, you can use the trial period in that premium version, but keep in mind the free version is totally enough for you. And sorry if I'm talking really fast. That's the way I normally talk. Uh, if there's some questions that Roham can ask, or perhaps if Roham wants to point out something, feel free to say us and also stop me. But let's continue. So once you have signed up in LinkedIn, you start to create your profile. Here's a screenshot of my LinkedIn profile. If you go to see my profile, this is what you see there. First of all, number one, you see the cover image, background image. That's your opportunity to create a positive first impression. There are a lot of free customizable templates, for example, in Canva that you can use. Then the second thing, and this is the image that readers will always see the first. For example, if I'm participating in some conversations or posting doing my own posts, they see the profile photo here. It's good to be up to date photo and no duck faces or pets or whatsoever. So keep it quite professional. And third thing is this headline. Make your headline catchy and unique. What is special about you? I'm sorry, my headline is in Finnish, but um, I've put their titles. Yes, I'm a communication manager, mom, master of arts, and also twerk dancer. But I believe titles don't define me. I emphasize the kind of attitude I have. So that's basically my headline. Then fourth thing that yeah you will see, and also for example the recruiters or companies that if they check your profile, they will see the summary, so the about section, and let the people see that you're a real person. So show it with your summary. You can write there what you are looking for, your contact information, what have you done, perhaps something about your hobbies or spare time. Also, in your profile, you should put your work experience, language skills, courses. It's up to you what you want to actually put in your profile. But my recommendation is to keep in mind that consider that your LinkedIn profile is your online resume, so like online CV. LinkedIn also offers a lot of good tips and tricks how to improve your profile. So that's about LinkedIn profile. What is the power of LinkedIn? Why do I use LinkedIn, and why did I get at the end so excited about it? Well, first of all, you can see on the left-hand side the analytics. So LinkedIn gives you a really good perspective or insights who have seen your posts, and the analytics tells you a lot. The left-hand side, there are the analytics from my previous or from my last post. It was seen or viewed almost 9,000 times. It got 120 reaction, and the people that saw it the most, they were project managers, sales managers, CEOs, and communication specialists. So it's a really good target that they noticed my post, and some of them went to see my profile after seeing the posts. I can see also analytics from the past year. The past year that I started as a communication manager, I have to admit that I haven't had the same time to do my posts. I'm still active in LinkedIn. I do comment and react in other posts, but I haven't been as active writing down my own posts. Nevertheless, they have been during the past year almost 26,000 views. So my posts were displayed on screen almost 26 times. If you ask me what has been the most successful or perhaps most viewed post of myself, there you see it in the middle. I wrote it 3 years ago in the middle of the night while I was nursing my baby boy. It was just 2 sentences. I shared this sort of a GDPR in Savo dialect. There was a company called Maitoma who had done the GDPR. GDPR is the EU's data protection law. They had it in German, no, not in German, but in Savo dialect. And I just shared it. It was just really two sentences, and really in the middle of the night. I didn't think anything at all at that point. I was just excited about the uh, tietosuoja Savoksi photo, and it got almost 18,000 views, more than 500 likes, and plenty of people came to see my profile. It's too bad that my profile was not up to date. I was on a maternity leave, and yeah, there was a lot of things that I hadn't done in my profile. It's okay, but you never know exactly what kind of post comes viral and what kind of post excites people. um, I also like the fact that this LinkedIn, the people in my LinkedIn network, they are just not photos or random messages. They can be actually real persons that I can see and meet. So before COVID-19 came, I did a couple of times this sort of open lunch invitation posts. Here on the right hand side, for example, I wrote there, hey, my husband just started his paternity leave. Hooray! That means I have a holiday. I can work longer and have a long lunch break since I don't need to pick up the kids from the daycare. And then I wrote there, hey, mm, question, would you like to come, would you join me for lunch here in Kuopio now that I have time to have long lunch breaks? And that one post that I made got almost 10,000 views. And based on just that one post, I got 15 lunch invitations with random people, and I had a really good conversations. I did that a couple of times and enjoyed it a lot. And I'm hoping that I can do it again now that the COVID or the situation is getting a bit easier with the COVID and lunches and meeting random people. So that's about the power of LinkedIn in my perspective. Good to know. There might be some of you that are already more familiar, so I want to give some insights to all of you. You can follow in LinkedIn, you can follow people and companies, but you can also follow hashtags. You just enter the hashtag you would like to find in the search bar up there. For example, time management. And then you click the follow button, and you will start to receive those posts regarding time management in your feed. You can also save posts and articles you saw in your feed. At least I see sometimes posts that are really, I feel that they are insightful or inspiring. So I then just click the three dots and save the post, and I can later go and see what are the saved items that I have or saved posts that I have, and I can read them through again. So that's also a good a tip for you all. If you are using LinkedIn in computer in your desktop, you might have noticed that there are two different kind of feeds that you can see on your desktop. There are this sort of a sort by recent a button, and there you can choose top or recent. So you can sort your feed by top updates and recent updates. And this works only in the desktop version, not on the mobile app. So on the desktop version, you can see posts that have got already a bit more reactions or posts that you normally react more often. But the recent one shows you the recent posts that people have made. In your mobile app, you have always the top updates that you see on your feed. And how to get started. Once you have done your profile, start to participate in conversations. You can like or react and comment posts and articles on LinkedIn and build your network. Your network plays a crucial part in unlocking the power of LinkedIn. Well said, isn't it? And then post content. You can share posts, add photos, videos, or documents in your post. You can also publish articles. The articles can be longer than the posts, and also the articles can they show up on Google search better, and they stay a bit longer. So keep in mind that you can also publish articles. There are good things that come out of articles as well. Then you can celebrate an occasion, give kudos, and create polls. LinkedIn algorithm gives a high value for the polls, so there are just short questions that you can create there, and they are shown more easily than the normal posts. And then tip and tricks. First of all, check the other one's profiles. It's totally fine to go and see. You might get inspired by the others. You might see, oh, that's really cool summary or about section. And then it might be also so that the people that you have, the profiles that you have checked, the people will come to see your profile as well. And there you might have just started a possible connection if the other person comes to see also your profile. Adding hashtags to your posts can help your content to reach more users. Of course, don't overdo it, don't put too many hashtags, and give and receive recommendations and endorsements. So your connections can write recommendations for your profile and offer endorsements of your skills, and you can do the same in return. You can have also a link that is easy to share on your own resume or CV and with employer and connections. So you can edit your custom URL. So it can be like linkedin.com/in dot slash and your name if it's available. So you can shorten it up and make it personalized. Oh, I was quite quick to be honest because I went really quickly through. But what I want you to remember about my presentation is the fact that started with baby steps. For example, just sign up in LinkedIn and then start to connect with people, and then you start to see what kind of posts and things they are posting. I did the mistake in the beginning that I didn't network with people. So that's why the posts in my feed that I was able to read, they were kind of in the same topics. But now that I have widened up my network, I find it really exciting to be able to read different sort of topics and learn every day something new. So definitely start with that. Sign up in LinkedIn, start to network and read what the other people have to say, and then of course your own profile, make it readable and complete it as well, but don't take too much stress out of it. For example, I had the stress that, oh, I have to have it in English, and that's why I kept it really short. And then I realized, well, I do know that English is used a lot in LinkedIn, because in LinkedIn, especially the search option, search engine tool is used a lot by recruiters, by different companies, and so forth. So it's good to have it in English. But also, it's beside English, it's good you can have it also in the local language. So combined or just in English. So I did it quite the combination. I have a bit something in English and something in the local language. So in Finnish, all in all. So with baby steps, and you have to start at some point. And I really recommend, and I would love to network with you people. Especially, I'm now looking for someone, a German speaker, with whom I could brush up my German skills. I've forgotten a lot since I don't need at the moment in my work German. And here you can see also in the photos what is aerial sling all about, and also pole dancing. So at the age of 34, I started these new hobbies, and I highly recommend you to join also the pole dancing or aerial sling acrobatic trick lessons. But that was all about me. I'm happy to connect with you or in LinkedIn, and perhaps see you in person or having a LinkedIn lunch. And now I will give my colleague Roham the platform. Stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Suvi, for your great presentation and sharing your journey, as well as giving informative informations about quite useful informations about LinkedIn. I would also like to go on with the presentation that I'm sharing at this point. Of course, my concept of this whole networking is that you don't have to look for a job, you have to let the jobs find you. So, before I start why I'm stating such sentence, I would like to introduce who am I at this point. My name is Roham Malekzadeh Bagheri. I'm from Iran, so I'm Persian. I'm 26 years old, and I moved to Finland in November 2020. So technically, I'm a second year business administrative student at Savonia University of Applied Sciences, and I am working as a project planner at Pohjois-Savon Ely-keskus. Um, you might ask that how come that I'm a second year student and I just came here last year or like a year and a half and I already could get a job in a fully Finnish working environment. For those internationals who don't know what is Ely-keskus, I have to say it's an governmental organization and it's an administrative branch for regional implementation of ministries of the strategies of the ministries, let's say. But before I start about my journey, I would like to say who was I before I moved to Finland?
Roham, the presentation slides, they don't change.
Oh,
The
oh,
presentation mode, yes.
I will I will do it again. Thank you for letting me know.
And I have to say, Roham, you explained Ely Center really well.
Oh, thank you. So did it show here?
now, now I can see. Yes.
Okay, so perfect. So that was the first part that as I said already. And this is the second part that I'm going to talk about. Who was I? Thank you again, Subi, for letting me know that it's not showing. So I started teaching career as an English teacher from 18 years old. As soon as I graduated from high school, I started working. I was living in a big city in Tehran with more than 13 million population in one single city. And there is no such rules like here for working like 8 hours or 7 hours. I used to work for 12 hours a day in there. But I didn't want to end up as an English teacher for the rest of my life, so I wanted to change my career and I started to question myself and my career and so forth. But I was 23 by then and I was already a father to a 1 year old daughter. So it was too late for me and it was too risky for me to change the career. But I decided to change. I took the risk and I walked out of my comfort zone and I moved to Finland, to Kuopio with only 100,000 population. So I must say I had no connections, no friends or relatives here. I just choosing Finland was among one of those countries that I wanted to move. So I got accepted in Savonia. I have never heard of North Savo or Kuopio. So I really risked it all. Resigned from my job that I built a career for 5 years, and I moved to a new country and a small city comparing to my previous city. So I needed to find my abilities. I needed to show my abilities, and I needed to land a job because I did not want to, because I didn't know the language, the culture, and so forth. I didn't want to end up as a cleaner or whatever jobs that I, as a foreigner, could do with no language knowledge. So what I did, of course, I was a cleaner for like 10 months for the first 10 months that I arrived. But now, as you can see, I started my LinkedIn for with only 35 followers or like connections, and now I have 1,200 something followers and connections, and most of them are in Finland and in North Savo. But how did LinkedIn help me? There's a wrong assumption. LinkedIn is not there to help you find a job. Technically, it is there to help you to be founded, get noticed, stand out, and land jobs or opportunities. So um, uh, there is this option that you can go and search for the jobs, but what really matters on LinkedIn is that how you get connected and networks, and then those connections could lead to opportunities and jobs for you at the end of the day. So what you have to do and what you have to be is to be your real you, because then you will be unique. You don't have to play any role. You don't have to be acting like you are someone else or you are a genius. Just be the real you, and the opportunities that suits you would come towards you for sure, because you yourself are unique. Um, but there is a question. What do you want to tell to your audience? And even a bigger question, who is your audience? That's very important to define that who is your audience and then what you're going to really say to them that interests them. Um, so the first thing first, you have to define your audience by defining yourself. Um, one of the problems that I had was that I didn't know really what are my skills, or even if I knew, I didn't know what jobs can I do with it, what use could it be. So I started asking questions. So I'm sharing the questions with you. Who are you? What are your skills? What are you studying? What are you going to do with what you're studying? And are they going to be just knowledge, or are you going to change them or transfer them to actions? And then, really, why should anyone be impressed by you or your thoughts or your actions and in result offering you a job? So by finding this answer, you're ready to find your audience now. So I always knew I'm a creative person. I always knew I'm good at speaking. I always knew that um, I have abilities to explain and so forth. And also, I'm a good planner. But I didn't know the combination of them. I couldn't connect the dots that how can I show them? How can I really use them? Because I didn't create anything. I just know I'm creative. Um, I started my job in North Savo Talent Hub and I worked as a free intern for like 10 months long just to challenge myself to find my skills. And during the time, I was working actively on LinkedIn to make connections, to meet people, and let them know that I'm here. But it is very frustrating because um, getting connection is not always easy. So you might send an invitation to some person, and that invitation would seems somehow, even if that person doesn't know you, sounds creepy. But you have to know it is not Instagram, it is not Facebook, it is LinkedIn. So whoever tries to connect with you or sends invitation, he or she is not trying to hit on you. They are trying to make connections for job opportunities, or maybe some connections that God knows what would it lead to. So my recommendation is that start with those who you know, your classmates, your teachers, people from your school, and then search for the companies that matches your field or interest. Follow them and also get connected with people working in those companies. And now you have a small audience. Um, I usually am not scared to really send invitations. I send the invitations. It doesn't matter if I know them or not. And then I come up as soon as they accept. I come up with a follow-up message that thank you for accepting the connection or networking invitation. So you have already made an impression. You have already made the connection. So this is the tricky part. They don't react to your posts, but they surely will see. Look at this post. It only has 79 or like 80 reactions to this post that I had, but 5,900 people has seen it, or 6,000. Of course, it's not as well as Suvi's with 18,000. But I, as a foreigner, as a person who came only for 1 year and a half, 6,000 people gets it noticed. Was something as a student brilliant for me. And again, another post, only 60 people reacted, but 4,000 people has seen it. Um, so what I'm saying that um, if you don't have any imagination of what these numbers would look like, imagine this picture. Uh, Imagine these amount of people are looking at you, are hearing what you're saying. This is what 2,000 or 3,000 people in a room would look like, yet alone 5,000, 10,000. And then they will remember. The point is that they will always remember. I have got many people that they never reacted to my posts, but as soon as I send a message to them to ask a question or a favor or whatever regarding the job that I'm doing at this point, they always came up with phrases that, oh, we have noticing you by your activities in LinkedIn. Or I had a meeting with a person who had a very high title, and she said she was not among my connections in LinkedIn, But then as soon as we went to the meeting, she said, "Oh, I know you from your activities from LinkedIn," even though we were not connected. Because on LinkedIn, if someone likes or sends any reaction to your posts, it would go on the feeds of others, even those who are not following you. That's why if I have 1,000 followers, my post gets reached to 5,000 people or 4,000 people. And so making setting up events, meetings, and so forth would even get easier because they already know you and they are already impressed with what you have done. But again, there is another question. What should I post on LinkedIn? Sui came up with very great examples and she borrowed her own example as well. I would like to say a little bit more. I would like to add something. Share something that inspires you. Or let's say share the story of how you got to where you are. My LinkedIn was based on sharing what I want to achieve, and then I'm updating my journey on how I'm achieving my goal. So I started to um, work in North South Talent Hub. The goal was to make the region more international friendly. And then instead of I just work for the credits to get as a student, I worked for the goal. So that goal has become one of the achievements that I want to achieve and had been set on my LinkedIn. So every day that I'm doing something, I'm meeting somebody, I'm working toward it. Um, I'm posting everyone about it. I'm telling about what's going on. And the thing is, I started in a North South Talent Hub, as I said, an internship. Then one good job got me to a better one. I worked for SimHub project that is supporting immigrants and so forth. And now I got in Elukeskus to actually plan a project to make the region again, let's say, not only more international, but even easier. It gets for both Finns and international easier to get jobs because I work in employment unit at this point. So what I want to say, I started this journey with 35 connections and I just set my goal in LinkedIn. I kept updating and then um, it's just like, let me give a very simple example. Um, Imagine you want to go to a restaurant. Just knowing you want to go to a restaurant is not a clear goal or a location. You have to set that, okay, I want to go to this restaurant, for example, let's say McDonald's. So you know now that you're here and you want to go to McDonald's. You have already set it. So now you are telling that, okay, now I'm in this street, now I'm in the second street, now I'm 2 streets away from McDonald's. Okay, now I've reached the McDonald's. So look at this because when you're setting it, then your pad is something that you can already imagine it or you will get on it if I can uh, pass my what I mean in a good way or not. I do also share my biggest win and challenge of the week occasionally, and I also share the people that I have met as well. So whoever I meet, as you saw in the other post, if I go back, this was one of the meetings with Camila Sultanova that we had a online meeting. So I shared it on LinkedIn. So and again, like for example, I shared about my experience about Elukeskus being at Elukeskus for like almost 3 months and so forth. So as you can see, you can just share with people about anything or something that, for example, Suvi shared that she was so passionate about that post. She just posted with only adding 2 more sentences straight, and it got a huge hit. So it's not really science rocket or rocket science, whatever it is. Um, Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. It's a very good quote from Brain Brown, and I really love it because um, as soon as you show them your process, your values, and your abilities, and then you are in demand. So all I can say at this point is that um, everyone's journey are different with one another, to be honest, and we cannot say that because I could do go from this way, everyone else can from this way. Everyone has got their own way and it's respected. But what I want to say is that you have to have the self-confidence, you have to have make connections, and try to engage with people. Then you will be known because imagine if you are in charge and you want to hire someone, um, who would you hire? Someone who you don't know even exists, or someone who has shown the abilities that matches your desires for hiring a person? Always take this example that okay, if I be a shadow and if I keep studying and do nothing, what would happen at the end? I would finish my studies, then I will figure it out. But then, as soon as you go outside, when you are looking for jobs, everyone or most of them are asking for 3 to 4 years of experience. This experience could have been made while you were a student, and it will change your life, save your time, and yeah, you will be on incredible journey as I am experiencing at this point. Thank you again, Paulina, for giving the time and I don't know if Sue wants to add something or
I would
Paulina,
like to add something.
please.
Um, Now that I remembered my first post 2015 when I made it, it was about book that I got excited. So I made the book recommendation. Zero reactions, zero likes, and nothing at all. So I want you to keep in your mind that don't get devastated, disappointed if you don't get any reactions. And it's not the point that how many you will get or that as many as possible. Nevertheless, it's
Yeah,
most important that you just started with it and not don't check too much about the analytics. They are interesting, but not the most important thing when it comes to
exactly.
LinkedIn.
That's Suvi, that's quite confusing for people. You know, I used to be an English teacher, as I told you. The largest class that I taught was 30 people in it. It was very large and it was very hard to manage and talk and teach and so forth. And then I started to have my teaching pages back then on Instagram, for example, and then 100 people liked my post. I was so happy about it. And then one of my students say, "Come on, teacher, there are other teachers on Instagram that they are having thousands of viewers and likes, and they're not as excited as you are." And I said, "Look at the class. You're only 30 people. Imagine if there were 100 people in this class." Um, I just taught one a small part to 100 people, and it's like more than that I could teach in a class. So it's all about how you see it. And there is something in Finnish that I really like, pikkuhiljaa. Little by little does a trick. So um, you have to start from somewhere and don't get disappointed. So you will get there at the end of the day. At, so yeah,
Yeah, but wow, we were fast because we are both really fast talkers and so
indeed.
many things to tell. And I'm super excited and super surprised as well that we were so.
Or maybe yeah, or maybe we were very good at time management, so so we wanted to have room for more discussions to be on.
Hashtag time management. We have to
Yeah.
use it in our LinkedIn status
Yeah,
updates now.
indeed. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so very much for these very informative presentations. And yeah, I have nothing to add. This was very great, and I'm very thankful on the behalf of the student union that you were able to join us and share your knowledge with us.
And we're happy to share it more also in LinkedIn while connecting with people. So it's easy to have chat one-to-one chats, for
And
example.
Yes.
it was a really pleasure. One thing that Suvi and I were considering was that if we want to keep it so long, people would miss the main point of
Yeah.
how should they do. It's very simple. It's not really so confusing process. Um, uh, what I'm saying is that we are living in a digitalization era.
Mm.
Back then, if you will go back for 100 years ago, having the knowledge or having the information was power. One with information was in power. But now we are in a world that there are so many information that the right information and necessary information are getting lost, and we are always
Yes.
facing with the unnecessary and unimportant information in front of our eyes. So we are easily distracted. Um, so what I'm saying, in a world with full of information, if you don't try to make an impact and show yourself, you will be lost. among all those unnecessary informations, and you will lose your opportunities and chances.
Amen.
That was very, very good. Yeah, speechless. Just yeah, that was to the point, and I agree that a bit shorter presentations usually work better with these career skills days. Yeah. Thank you again for being here, and you you were very quick. You didn't need to be that quick, but yeah, yeah,
If I wanted to go with my own, journey, that when I came to
Oh, it's a
Finland,
long one.
I,
okay,
I can go on and on, but then I would have missed the point, because
yeah,
I just came here like 17 months ago as a foreigner, and my Finnish is very broken. So when I moved, everyone of internationals who I met had the belief that it's impossible to find a job. And I moved here with my daughter, who was only 1 year old, and my wife, and we only moved here with only like 3,000 euros at our disposal.
yeah,
So it was a big risk, and I only had 3 months, let's say, to find a job. And I finally found a cleaning job on the third month. So um, one thing that really is important that I didn't want to miss the point by presenting is that I could have been on the same side. I could have believed the fact that there is no opportunity for us, and it's impossible to get a job according to what we are studying. And now I would be a cleaner and I wouldn't be here. Or I could believe in the process and just, try my best.
yeah,
And that's why after 17, it's a great success for me personally, that after
yeah,
only being 17 months here, I can really impact not only the living of other internationals but also the region's economy and employment. And it's a great honor that I have this chance. So the reason that I really am happy that I'm asked to be here and talk here is that to pass this positive vibe, that yes, even if even a Finnish person goes to my country, which is the language and everything is in Persian, this is going to be very hard, because
yeah,
everything is in Persian, and you technically cannot land a job with only speaking English. So it is obvious that now that we are here, um, it is hard for us, but it all depends on how we think, how we see it, and how much we try. So that's the whole points that I want to
Mm.
mention as an international student.
Mm. But I can
yeah,
also relate to Rohan because I come from the north of Finland. So Savo region is kind of foreign to me. I didn't know anyone here either. I didn't have any connections. I knew only one policeman that I got to know in London, and that was the only connection when I came to Kuopio. And I thought, whoa, this is so far somewhere out here. I'm going to just stay 4 months. But then I started to notice that I need networks. I want to meet people, and that's why when I started to use all these different channels in order
Yeah.
to get to know people, because sometimes if you are especially at work life, it's difficult to get to mingle with new people in the spare times.
Yeah, very good survey. I'm sorry, Pauline.
yeah.
I've not told you that.
Go
If we
ahead,
keep on
go
moving,
ahead.
but yeah, that's why we kept the presentations
After
quite
the
short.
recording, if you feel
Yeah,
like a audience.
but the point is, um, uh, Sylvie has a point that she came here even if it was foreigner, but you knew the language,
Yeah,
and
that's
you knew
true.
the culture. Of course, North
Yeah, of course.
Savo and other regions have a little bit of different cultures, but still you knew the general. For me, it was hell to make friends. In our class, I recently put an article on LinkedIn that I mentioned the same thing. Um, in our class, it was divided into two sides, Finns and internationals. So it was very hard to get into the circle of the Finnish people. So I was the only one in our class that, because I wanted to fit in faster and find jobs and so forth. So I came out from the circle of internationals, stopped hanging out, and I tried to get into the Finnish circle. As much as I pushed to get, I would get further. Like it was no use. And then even if I could hang out, I didn't know the language. So again, I was a useless member. But I learned the culture. I learned a little bit of language. Um, One thing was important because I couldn't make the real. We haven't been paid by LinkedIn to come here and do the marketing for them. But the point is, at this point, when it's so hard to get connections, and when you go to Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, it's not for work related. So where we can go is LinkedIn, that we know the concept that is all the whole concept is based on networking and connection and then employment. So that's why I put my 100% focus on LinkedIn. And I am very happy because, uh, you know, Finns believe in something very great that I really love this. They think, or they say, that if something is good, it speaks for itself. So when you do something good and you are on a process, you're speaking for yourself. Your work speaks, and also you are speaking on LinkedIn. So that is the reason the offers comes to you. uh, at this point, I'm not going to look for the jobs. For example, my contract is about to end. I already have two offers to consider. Again, I just have to announce when my contract is ending, and that's the difference. Before I had to search, search, search. Now I just have to announce that, hey, I have only 1 month left, and then people start approaching, and that
Mm.
is a difference. Um, so it is something powerful, and it's very unfortunate to lose this opportunity or to miss this opportunity to use such a platform, um, and feel belong.
Exactly, and I already have to give high respect for you that you started already using as a student, and that's, I would say that every student should already start to build the profile and get used to LinkedIn and
Indeed,
slowly start to use it more actively. But definitely, you don't need to be graduate in order to get a lot of value out of LinkedIn.
indeed, indeed. It all about how much you have self-confidence, and God, I have a lot. So, you know, people would not react to my post. I was like, "Oh, you are missing something. I don't care." Then I kept posting, and then uh, so of course I'm not arrogant, but I try to. I have this person in my head that is very negative and always criticize myself very harshly. Like if I would criticize or like give hints to my friend the same way I do it to myself, I would have ended up with no friends. So I think we all can relate. So sometimes I try to be so nice with myself when it comes to social media, uh, and I think that's the key.
And
You just
also
have
the personality, because I was thinking that I have the title, I'm a twerk dancer, so I shake my bum in the music, and I'm so proud of it. But I do know that some might think that, hey, that's not professional, but I thought, what the heck, it's my personality. If you don't like, it's okay, but yeah, I don't want to hide
exactly.
one part of me, and that's totally fine. So you can design and define what you want to
Exactly.
put out there in
Uh,
the public profile.
That's exactly why I said you don't have to play any role. You have to be yourself, and then you'll be unique. So
Exactly.
I completely agree with you. But I think we have to. It's already 2:30 coming,
Yeah.
so I think we can stop. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was a great discussion and great tips and like yeah, great things that came up with the conversation and that you had somehow mentioned, but then we get to go in depth to some of those. So thank you very much again.
thank you for
And
Kiitos.
inviting.
I feel like we could be talking here for 5 more hours, but
At
maybe we,
least.
Yeah.
yeah, at
Let
least,
let close the microphones now, Roham.
yeah, yeah. Let's.
Suvi and I are going to continue the discussion after this. Like so.
You're going to call each other like, yeah, what did you think? Yeah, but yeah, we can maybe stop the stream now and thank you very much again to you. It was such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Isu.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.